64th attempt. The counter ticks up again, indifferent to every failure that came before this one. Somewhere above this dungeon, a young man sits alone in a wreckage of a room, buried under the weight of repeated failure. 3 people wait outside, watching the tower. They know exactly what is unfolding inside and they can do nothing about it. 40 floors conquered. No collaborators, no support network. Just one man holding a broken sword where no one else would stand. The 48th floor. Realm of the Red Dragon Diathia. A lone challenger steps into the fire, and the stream erupts. The dragon's wing tears through heat-warped air, massive and dark, ancient as the stone walls around them. There it is. The Red Dragon Diathia, blazing against the inferno, staring down at the man below like he is already ash. The man doesn't run. He stands before something that should terrify him and gives absolutely nothing away. He prepared. 63 failed runs bought him a map of this fight, a slim margin carved from pure repetition and pain. The dragon wants to know if this human understands how dangerous his situation is. The fire answers for both of them. He turns into the heat, refusing to give the beast a clean angle. The body already knows what the mind decided long ago. Golden energy ignites at his feet. Fast, deliberate, precisely where a man who has been here before would place each step. Someone watching the stream types it out. What an anticlimactic end. They think it is already over. They have no idea. He hits back. Not a desperate swing, a calculated strike, driving into the dragon with everything 63 deaths taught him. The blow connects. Red fire and force scatter outward as something that massive takes a hit it did not expect to take. That eye, enormous, ancient, goes wide. The Red Dragon Diathia is surprised. That is not something this creature is used to feeling. It shouts that it can read every move before he makes it, every intention visible in the way he holds his body. The dragon felt it. He destroyed the skill in seconds flat. Not bad, it admits, and means every word, before promising worse. You have only chosen to die in a more painful way. The dragon means it, and the fire behind those words proves it. He answers in the only language the dragon respects. Energy tears from his palm, slamming the beast with everything he has. The explosion blooms massive and indiscriminate, fire and force consuming the entire battlefield in a single roaring instant. He is thrown upward by the blast, a small dark shape against a purple sky, still alive, still calculating his next move. Falling backward, one hand grips a dark blade humming with violet energy. The drop becomes a deliberate choice. The blade arcs downward, purple aura trailing behind it. He is not falling anymore. He is striking. Another discharge, another shockwave rolling through the floor. The dragon absorbs it and starts to get angry. The Red Dragon Diathia has had enough. It calls this human impudent and means it like a death sentence. Aerial breath. Every inch of this arena becomes fire, an extinction-level move meant to end this right now. The man goes still. Total quiet against total destruction. He was waiting for this move. He knew it was coming. His palm opens. Glowing orbs sit there, items held back for exactly this moment, through 63 deaths of preparation. Reading the memory of the world. The dungeon itself begins to give up its secrets, everything this floor has ever hidden. Blue data light cascades around him in crystalline towers. He reaches into knowledge no living challenger has ever touched. An infinite library, forming from nothing. Every skill ever recorded, every secret buried in this tower, unlocking it once. He reaches in and pulls out hellfire. Golden flame condenses in his grip, an S-rank ability dragged from the world's own memory. Black tears next. Purple energy coils around his arm like something alive, hungry, waiting for permission to be unleashed. The dragon watches with contempt. A puny skill, it sneers. A human playing with forces beyond his weight. That is exactly why he is making something different. Something the dragon has never seen. Something built from both. Black tears ignites alongside hellfire. The space between man and dragon starts to taste like the end of something. The two S-rank skills collide and merge. The shockwave from that fusion alone rocks the entire floor. Hellfire and black tears, combined. The system registers what just happened before the dragon even processes the threat. A skill on the next level. The vortex that forms is massive, black, and violet, tearing through everything the dragon built. He raises both arms and the confirmation arrives. Breath of the Void Dragon Aetherion, SSS rank, a highest tier in existence. The ancient dragon Aetherion takes shape within the technique, purple lightning crackling across something vast and terrifying. The Red Dragon Diathia recognizes it, something older and greater than itself wearing this human's power. It begins to tremble. The man's voice is quiet. Certain. Kang Jin Hyuk. That is who he is. And this is not his first time killing it. Every failed run, every death, every reset that brought him back to floor 1, all of it was just practice. A lone figure stands at the edge of an impossible game world, surrounded by crumbling ruins. Kang Jin Hyuk stares at his screen with quiet contempt, the game already feeling like a waste. The Tower of Trials looms against a burning violet sky, massive and indifferent to the humans beneath it. Jin Hyuk cuts through waves of enemies alone, his movements carrying the weight of someone who has done this 10,000 times. Armored warriors clash, bodies flung through the air, a giant slime hovering in the chaos, and the tower watches it all. A colossal dark guardian rises from shadow, practically radiating power that no ordinary player could survive. Frozen wastelands stretch to the horizon, temperatures lethal enough to kill before the monsters even reach you. A labyrinth the size of a small city spirals outward below, every corridor a death sentence with no map. A popularity chart nosedives month after month, the once dominant tower bleeding players faster than it can retain them. The entire game fractures in the aftermath, pixel debris hanging in a void where a world once stood. A handful of pros refused to leave, grinding in silence while everyone else gave up on the tower. A lone climber gasped through a brutal ascent, rain-soaked and exhausted but still moving upward. Light explodes outward in all directions as floor 50 shatters beneath the announcement of a first-time clear. Kang Jin Hyuk stands in the aftermath, dark gear cut against his frame, completely alone, completely unbothered. He runs the same boss patterns again and again, his body moving from memory alone, gold rewards piling at his feet. Jin Hyuk pauses in the empty tower interior, the thought crossing his mind that he never once recorded any of it. He holds up a glowing device in the dark, the idea of uploading everything arriving too late to matter. A blue crystal notification materializes mid-air, glowing against his expression as something shifts in the atmosphere. The game fires back an unexpected response, a reboot update scheduled in 12 hours, thanking him for his years of play. Jin Hyuk processes the announcement with visible frustration, the move making no sense from a business standpoint. He sits at a multi-monitor setup in the dark, already mapping out his exit from both the game and the streaming career. He mentally maps his exit, living on $500 a month, certain the landlord needs advance warning. People called him a prodigy worth watching. He chose money over legacy, and he has no regrets about that. A full moon hangs over a concrete apartment block, the city quiet below, indifferent to what happens next. Viewers flood the live chat, recognizing him the moment he goes live, confused by how early he has shown up. He laughs with his audience, the food in front of him drawing more commentary than he expected. Jin Hyuk looks straight into the camera, composed, something clearly weighing on him before he speaks. He tells them he has something important to say, voice steady, audience already guessing. The chat erupts in speculation, marriage, drama, retirement, each theory wilder than the last. He clarifies, calm and direct, that this is simply about a game and the role it played in his life. He drinks alone in a modest room, the decision already made, the announcement already public. He lies across his bed in the aftermath, the long arc of a decade finally reaching its end. He sits up in the dark, head pounding, the body registering what the mind already processed hours ago. A hand reaches out and presses the power button on the computer tower, the machine groaning reluctantly awake. His eyes snap wide open, something is wrong, the room does not feel the same as when he shut down. A news headline on his monitor reads that the Tower of Trials has somehow materialized in reality. Jin Hyuk stares at the screen with confusion etched into every line of his face. He goes live on impulse, pointing the camera at the window, demanding his viewers confirm what they can see. He shows his viewers a dead game that has somehow gone real, voice flat, already treating this like strategy. Something in the chat catches his eye, a reaction sharp enough to make him pause mid-sentence. The reality of it sinks in, his expression shifting from confusion to something far more serious. A system notification materializes in the air before him, official and cold, the tower announcing its first update complete. The Tower of Trials reboot version confirms its first update complete, and the rules of the world have permanently changed. The city outside glows deep purple, and the command lands with cold finality, clear the next floor, 90 days. Ordinary people across the city stare at glowing system windows appearing in their hands, bewildered and terrified. Two strangers stand beneath a massive glowing notification in the open air, the scale of the change finally visible. Jin Hyuk rises from the chair and moves to face his monitor in the blue glow, posture shifting into something deliberate. He stares at the screen, jaw set, eyes clear, every year of his training suddenly no longer wasted. The Tower of Trials reboot is complete. The system made its announcement and the clock started ticking for everyone. A figure slumped at a desk in a dark room. Equipment scattered around him, a streamer's setup, abandoned mid-session. People's acceptance of this new reality has shot up overnight. The world is adapting faster than anyone expected. Kang Jin Hyuk looks up, expression cold and focused. He needs to clear his head, but clearing his head means moving. If the tower is truly real, staying put is death. He can't waste time locked in a room while the world reshapes itself. He needs to hurry. There's a specific item waiting at a specific place, and he's the only one who knows it exists. He slams through a door and charges down a stairwell. The world might end, and that thought is fuel, not fear. His hand grips the railing mid-sprint. He already knows what's at stake. The question is whether he can reach it in time. Central City. Glass towers under a blood-red sky, crowds spilling into the streets, motion everywhere, controlled chaos, barely holding. One man shoves his phone in everyone's face, fastest train to Busan, he shouts. As if distance can save him from a tower that covers the globe. Flee to another country, someone screams. But the towers appeared everywhere. A woman with glasses kills that hope in one sentence, there is no safe country. Get out of Seoul, stay here and you'll die for sure. The crowd moves in every direction at once. Jin Hyuk cuts against the tide. An escalator slides downward, pedals drifting past the moving steps. He's heading underground while everyone else runs for the exits. Now is not the time to retreat. He walks toward a heavy door in a dim underground corridor, alone. In the Korean server, this place was selected as an external zone. In the whole country, only 30 of these exist. Central Underground Strip Mall, the sign glows gold in the dark. This is where Jin Hyuk needs to be. A blue crystalline terminal pulses inside the zone, energy radiating off it, something active and alive within the system. You are now entering an event zone. The system voice fires as he steps through. Around him, other players materialize from every direction. Jin Hyuk says nothing. He scans the zone. Every person here is a tower veteran, and not one of them trusts the others. All of them have played the tower before, now they stand in the real version of it, sizing each other up like rivals at the starting line. They're all staring at each other. Jin Hyuk watches from the edge, already calculating who in this crowd is actually a threat. The system warns, the item that will soon appear is limited in quantity. One announcement, instantly everyone's enemy. A voice behind him, you're Kang Jin Hyuk, right? A man in dark clothes recognizes him, tone already smug before the sentence ends. Lee Jong-soo, Patreon TV streamer, wearing a tailored suit. He grins wide, mocking Jin Hyuk for holding up in his room doing nothing. Lee Jong-soo keeps pushing, and at the same time, he's the CEO of the company Jin Hyuk used to work for. This isn't casual small talk. With things like this, what does streaming do for him now? Lee Jong-soo spreads his hands, playing friendly in a room full of rivals. Come on, let's gather secrets together, as former co-workers. The invitation sounds warm. It isn't. Co-workers. The word lands wrong. Jin Hyuk stares forward, expression darkening. That company was never a partnership. His company trapped streamers in a slave contract. The more content they made, the deeper in debt they fell. Every stream was a loss disguised as opportunity. A webcam on a desk beside a printed document. The physical evidence of what that contract looked like, cold and official. I know you're a great gamer. Lee Jong-soo grabs his shoulder, voice smooth and certain, already rehearsed. His content will continue to be even better with the company's support. How does that sound? The pitch lands like a threat dressed as an offer. Jin Hyuk turns his head. He says the name slowly, Lee Jong-soo. No threat in his voice. Just the weight of a decision already made. The world has changed. Whatever power that company had over him before, that leverage no longer exists. The world has changed. 4 words burned across the silence like a verdict before anyone swings. Don't talk to him like a friend. Jin Hyuk's fist connects, and the hit carries everything, the contract, the debt, the years. Lee Jong-soo takes the hit hard, he reels back, hand pressed to his face, nothing composed about him anymore. That felt good. Jin Hyuk walks away without looking back, no drama, no speech, just the clean satisfaction of a debt repaid. It should be about time for the item to come out. He waits, reading the situation, timing his next move. The chamber around him hums, a circular structure lit from within, energy building beneath the stone floor. Reality splits open. A massive tree erupts through the zone, bark cracking against the walls, roots tearing up the floor, leaves catching light that has no source. Whoa, it's a mangrove. 2 players nearby stare upward, stunned. They've never seen anything like it inside the system. Jin Hyuk smiles, small, certain. It's really the item from the Tower of Trials. His memory was right. He came to exactly the right place. Wait, isn't that the fruit? Red orbs glow among the leaves. The tree carried exactly what he came for. It's a good item for sure, but there are only 4 fruits on the entire tree. 4 fruits, 30 plus players. The math is brutal. Players begin closing in from every direction, slow at first, then faster, reading each other's intent before bodies start moving. It's going to be a fierce competition. Every person in this zone just became an obstacle between Jin Hyuk and what he came for. The mob crashes against the tree at once, arms stretched out, bodies colliding, every voice screaming it's mine as the branches shake. 2 players fight over the same branch, shouts and elbows, neither willing to yield an inch. The crowd has become a single violent mass. Someone gets launched clear off their feet, body airborne, fruit already knocked loose from the branch. Lee Jong-soo resurfaces. If they had worked together and split the fruits, both would have walked away with something. That window is gone. Now they won't get any fruits at all. His associate rounds on him, furious. Every plan Lee Jong-soo made just collapsed in real time. If you don't know anything, stay put. Jin Hyuk's voice cuts through the noise, aimed at anyone still stumbling around blind. He stands alone in the light, coat catching the red glow. The chaos falls away behind him. He already knows where the fruit is. A gnarled green fruit sits cradled in a bare hand, the dungeon's hidden reward, closer than anyone expected. Something strikes a man hard in the chest. He did not see it coming, nobody here did. Bodies hit the ground. A monster tears through the group like paper, and the survivors scatter in every direction. Twin red eyes cut through the darkness. The creature's slashing limbs leave no room for hesitation. Kang Jin Hyuk's eyes narrow not from fear, but from calculation. He is already 3 moves ahead. The thought is cold and clear, the most terrified players are also the most predictable. He knows exactly how this ends. A shockwave detonates through the dungeon, stone cracks, dust billows, and something shifts in the balance of the fight. Someone screams it out. Eating all the fruits makes it dangerous. That warning lands about 3 moves too late. 2 survivors move through the wreckage side by side, neither speaking. The air has gone very quiet. A figure in a dark coat turns and walks away from the chaos, calm, deliberate, unbothered by what he is leaving behind. The question cuts through the silence. Are you giving up? It is less a question and more a provocation. Kang Jin Hyuk drops the real truth quietly. The actual reward only activates if you eat every single fruit. Nobody else knew that. The sharp-featured man watches from the side, eyes calculating, jaw tight, working something out in his head. It clicks for him. Jin Hyuk had not been passive. He was waiting. Every move up to now was deliberate. A shadowed figure grins wide. No morals, just opportunity. Whatever Jin Hyuk is after, they want a piece of it. Jin Hyuk says it simply, we have to go in. Not a debate, not a question. A statement of fact. The strategy comes fast. Single file charges or suicide. Both flanks attack at the same moment and force the creature to split focus. The other survivor confirms, one runs decoy while the other drives straight for the core. Simple. Brutal. Yes. A sneaker plants and launches off the ground. Whoever this is, they are already moving before anyone else commits. Jin Hyuk closes the distance at full sprint, eyes locked on the creature. One word called out, now. Someone vaults up along the tree creature's body, using its own massive bulk as a ladder. Massive gnarled root claws hammer down with the weight of centuries behind them. The impact shakes the entire dungeon floor. Someone asks the question nobody wanted raised, what about Lee Jong-soo? The CEO who has been watching from the margins. The sharp-featured man's patience detonates. Who would trust your words? His contempt has no ceiling and no floor. Lee Jong-soo smiles, all teeth, no warmth. Go ahead and be bait. He means every syllable of it. Blade-like appendages slice the air. The monster has fixed on something new and it is absolutely not letting go. A fighter in dark gear launches off the ground, weapon raised, committing fully to the gap in the creature's guard. Another figure dives straight into a swirling vortex of motion, no hesitation, pure forward momentum. A roar rings out. The target is the one standing furthest away. The monster has chosen its prey with deliberate precision. Dark tentacles writhe and coil outward, a predator with patience and reach that no human in this dungeon was built to match. A man in black armor catches the full force of the creature's strike. The scream rips out before he can stop it. Someone slides hard across the ground, barely staying ahead of the next hit, survival measured in inches. Jin Hyuk does not even look up. Why should I? Delivered with the calm of someone who has already made his decision. A large, dark-haired man holds his ground and stares, built like someone who has not lost a standoff in years. A massive strike crashes in from above. The creature shudders, fragments flying from the sheer concussive force. Jin Hyuk, half in shadow, says goodbye without ceremony. Cold, final, precise. One of the cleanest exits in the tower. Jin Hyuk stands at the base of the great dungeon tree, eyes tracking upward. His next move is already mapped. 2 arcing trajectories fan from the same origin point, 25 degrees left, 25 right. He is solving the attack pattern live. Kang Jin Hyuk sidesteps cleanly and says it without a shred of arrogance, dodging is not hard. Not for him. A blade cuts through in a single clean motion, decisive, no wasted movement, no second thought. Red slash marks open across a dark figure. Whoever caught those hits is having the worst day of their tower career. The tree creature's bark splits open, a dark wound gaping where no one has managed to land a cut before. A hot pink sphere pulses from the creature's split bark, the core, raw and exposed, finally visible to everyone. The system announces it for the whole dungeon. The core of the mangrove has revealed itself. Every player hears that. A huge dark blade carves through the open sky, trailing debris behind it, thrown or launched with terrifying force. A hand locks onto it mid-trajectory and holds firm, the grip iron steady, the timing exact. The fine print lands hard. Event mob gives 0 XP. Your reward is a spot on the Hall of Fame. That is it. The creature's tendrils whip outward in a frenzy, wounded and exposed. It is not going down without a final desperate swing. Pink energy detonates outward in a wide arc, raw, uncontrolled, the kind of attack that reshapes terrain permanently. Jin Hyuk's eyes are flat and steady beneath the chaos, not overwhelmed, not afraid. Calculating. Always calculating. One word explodes into the silence, however. Something is about to flip, and the whole dungeon is about to feel it. A figure in black erupts forward, dark blades spreading wide, the impact shattering stone on contact. Blood drips slow from a face, quiet and final. Someone just took a hit they will carry for the rest of their tower run. The ground tears apart as stone and debris scatter as the force exceeds anything the dungeon floor was built to hold. A fighter crashes in with a decisive mid-range strike, fast, efficient, no wasted motion required. The internal calculus runs cold, deflecting every attack is still within his limits. He is not at his ceiling yet. The mangrove's towering dark form cracks wide open, the red core burns at the center like a wound that cannot close. Jin Hyuk drives through the opening without slowing, strike after strike, each one dismantling something the creature needed. A final detonation tears through the dungeon, the kind of impact that ends fights and rewrites standings in a single moment. A sneaker plants hard on the shattered ground, grounded, deliberate, done. He has repeated this exact sequence many times before. That is the whole point of being Kang Jin Hyuk. Jin Hyuk moves through the aftermath of the mangrove fight, blue energy still crackling around his fists. Blue butterfly creatures swarm in from the dark. Jin Hyuk stops cold, recognizing them immediately. He drops into a low duck, chin nearly to the ground, fast, unhurried, like a man who has rehearsed this. The butterflies carry sleeping powder. Most players at this level have no idea, the gas knocks them out before they can react. The solution is embarrassingly simple. Hold your breath. Do not let the powder reach your lungs. Jin Hyuk crouches still, breath locked in, while the swarm parts around him like he is furniture. The mangrove beast's bark splits. A pink sphere pulses at its center, the core, raw and exposed. Jin Hyuk drives his palm forward. No hesitation. He has seen this exact moment before, on floors most players will never reach. The impact detonates. Energy blasts outward from the point of contact. A figure in red tumbles backward, one of the other players caught in the shockwave, collateral to Jin Hyuk's strike. Nearby, the large dark-haired man watches with a heavy expression, jaw set, absorbing what he just witnessed. Players scatter through the dark, thrown off by the explosion's force. The mangrove beast is done. Silence. The great mangrove tree stands stripped and hollow in the dark, its bark split open, all 4 fruits gone. Jin Hyuk looks up at it with an expression that is almost grateful. He made it. He knew what no one else did. He thinks, everything he spent 11 years doing, every hour dismissed as a waste, it prepared him for exactly this. The system chimes. Hall of Fame. His achievement will be broadcast across the tower for a full day. 0 XP, but the whole world will see his name. The system asks for his name. Jin Hyuk smiles faintly. As expected. He had already decided this. He holds up the glowing teal item, his real prize. He has no name to give. Everything stays confidential. The system complies, name unknown. His face will be mosaicked. His voice altered. The Hall of Fame entry will be untraceable. He presses on. The Hall of Fame was never the point. Something else is. Jin Hyuk leans against a wall in the dark, catching his breath. Alone. Always alone. Then, a flash of surprise on his face. Something in his hand just reacted. A small green gem sits in his palm, pulsing with a quiet inner light. The real reward from the mangrove. The realization hits hard, he finally got it. All 4 fruits. The hidden condition triggered. Item obtained, tree essence, tree Oregon. Jin Hyuk stands in the glow of the notification, already calculating. The mangrove fruit itself round, red, still faintly damp. The thing 30 players tore each other apart for. A broken item. On paper, the tree ore is worthless, nothing powerful anywhere in all 50 floors. Everyone else would discard it. Jin Hyuk would not. He uses it. Across the room, another figure moves in the shadow, the dark-haired man, watching without a word. A surge of energy envelopes Jin Hyuk, not power, not a skill, but potential. Something activated deep inside. Dark eyes narrowed under sharp brows. The large man in the shadows processes what he just saw. Jin Hyuk pulls up his status window. Time to see where he actually stands. Name, Kang Jin Hyuk. Age 27. Level 1. Strength 5, Agility 6, Vitality 7, Magic 5. 12 stat points banked. No class, no unique ability, no skill. He closes the window with a quiet certainty. On every metric the system can measure, he is nobody. And he is the strongest level 1 alive. His upload detonates. The chat section floods, dozens of new comments cascading in faster than the screen can refresh. The first wave called it fake. Lucky. Staged. Then the video went live and the skeptics went quiet. Real viewers flood in. Comments confirm, the mystery player cleared the 7th floor, moved like a veteran, did things no one at level 1 should be able to do. Meanwhile, on his main account, something unexpected has landed. He stops. Reads it. Park Ho-shik. Director of a 5-star semiconductor company. 10 billion won down payment. 100 million a month. Someone powerful wants him. He types back without much ceremony. Mangroves of greed at level 1 is hard, but it is not something to be surprised about. Not for him. The trial community site is already running headlines. First mangrove tree of greed clear. 1 billion won sits in his near future. A webcam watches from atop the monitor. Jin Hyuk does not flinch. He is already comfortable being watched. The tower is a goldmine. He does not need to be the strongest fighter in it. He needs to collect enough money to stay strong, and information is the one resource no one else can copy. Jin Hyuk eats at his desk. Casual, unhurried. The most dangerous man in Seoul having a quiet meal. But now, he steps into a narrow dark passage, the glow of day left behind. The next move is already in motion. 2 words define everything Jin Hyuk intends to do: information and monopoly. He will be the only source. The only one who knows. He types his next destination into his phone. Inside a glass case, a sword, a scroll, artifacts that glow with real tower power. The most important haul available anywhere right now. Jin Hyuk on his phone under a night sky. This is the place. More artifacts here than anywhere else in the country. The National Museum of Korea. A flat modern building under moonlight. Floating above it, a ceramic vase, a round shield, an ancient sword, a scroll. Real relics awakened by the tower. This location appears in fictions about Korean history over and over again. One museum. Artifacts from every region of the country concentrated in a single building. 3 figures have already gathered: a large powerfully built man, a woman in a sharp orange jacket, and a younger man with blonde hair. Former top players. The tower has called everyone worth watching here. A hand grips a blue staff weapon. Somebody inside is already armed. Jin Hyuk steps inside. It is quieter than he expected. No one in the front sections. He moves deeper. Then he stops. Something shifts in the air ahead. His eyes narrow. Someone arrived before him. A dark silhouette stands deep inside the museum, surrounded by rubble and impact marks. Whoever this is, they did not walk in quietly. Jin Hyuk steps into the wreckage of the National Museum and stops cold. The thought arrives before the evidence does. Someone beat him here. Deep inside the shattered hall, a lone silhouette stands motionless among the rubble, surrounded by impact marks that shouldn't exist yet. Jin Hyuk had done the math long before anyone else thought to ask the question. The world changed overnight and people are already scrambling. But the gap between expectation and reality is brutal. Everyone will rush for the famous artifact. That's exactly why Jin Hyuk wants what sits beneath the noise. The Great Map of the East Land, a full territory chart showing every monster spawn and hidden item across all external zones. On paper, a historical relic. In reality, the most dangerous document alive. And while everyone fights over the obvious prize, the truly important artifacts will be buried in the mud. The museum interior is already a war zone. Someone is screaming that the map belongs to him. Bodies crash through displays. A young blonde man grabs someone's arm. A blue-eyed fighter in a plain blue shirt levels his weapon and answers the claim in 2 words. The large muscular man stands with arms crossed, radiating one message: move 1 inch and die. The muscular man lays out his terms in detail. Then someone in a dark coat cuts through all the noise with a single sentence. A fighter in white tries a charge, unique ability already live. The dark-coated figure doesn't flinch or raise his voice. He states at once, the map is his. Move. A quiet voice off to the side responds, genuinely curious. The map is yours? The speaker is a white-haired old man, standing loose and unbothered in a room full of awakened fighters. He gives his name like a lecture on courtesy, Lee Juno. He lives with kindness. That is what the name means. The young muscular man erupts, contemptuous, loud, proprietary. Lee Juno exhales, delivers a quiet verdict on the boy's tongue, and raises one hand. A ring of blue-white energy spins open in his palm. Lee Juno offers a simple question: which comes first, the boy breaking his neck or Lee Juno turning him into coal? He holds a compressed ball of fire like it weighs nothing. The muscular man goes pale. Magic. Real magic. Lee Juno says catch. The fireball detonates in a column of gold. The screaming is brief. When the smoke clears, a charred figure crumples to the floor. Lee Juno surveys the aftermath and delivers his verdict: it was the tongue. The tongue did this. A new pair enters the field. A broad man in a suit jacket is delighted he aligned with Lee Juno. He asks Lee Yuri if she retrieved the goods. She says leave it to her. She reaches for a specific figurine on a museum display pedestal, not the map, this one. Her eyes go purple. An ancient Egyptian god warrior rises around her, gold-masked, twin-bladed, massive. She states quietly that he will handle anyone who gets in the way. The entity surges forward and fills the room. Lee Yuri smiles and asks the survivors to cooperate. Just like that. The blue-eyed fighter stares at the towering god warrior and cannot believe how many awakened there already are. Someone throws the map on the ground. Take it all, take everything, just make the summon stop. Lee Yuri thanks him warmly, picks it up. Then her expression shifts just slightly. A boot comes down hard on broken glass. Jin Hyuk walks in flanked by 2 others. He surveys the wreckage and shakes his head. They really made a mess. Does none of this mean anything to them? He crouches and picks up a relic from the rubble, not the map. Something smaller. Something no one else noticed. Lee Yuri turns, "Hey, Mr. Fearless." Her purple eyes are cold now. The smile is completely gone. "Do you think this is a joke?" Lee Yuri gives the order, "Get him." The Egyptian god warrior erupts forward, scythe blade screaming through the museum hall. A massive shockwave of dark energy detonates where Jin Hyuk stood, and he is already gone. He lands in a wide stance, coat still settling, staring down a god-tier summon with nothing in his hands but a museum artifact and 12 stat points he hasn't spent yet. Level 1. No class. No skills. No exit strategy. And not a single step backward.